and he's showing us the scenery and so forth. Never knew he didn't have
Warm up, let's go.
But he got
I got you there. That's so powerful. You imagine that little boy
Triceps,
walking down that
calves,
street turns out to be
Triceps.
you. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
dad sowing those seeds into you.
Yeah.
That's such a. I read that story in the book, man, and I was doing what you were doing. So I'm on an airplane reading the book, and right next to me asked me, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm okay." But I was picturing you because I'd seen you in interviews. This little boy walking down the street, and his dad having to do that, and having the ability to protect you from knowing what was actually really going on there.
And there's moments like that define you. As long as you remember, they can define you both ways. You can look at it and say, you know what? You can use that as an excuse. My dad came to this country, he didn't have any money, he never gave me anything, he never did this, and people do that. Or you can look at it and say, he gave us everything.
Wow. Your dad is this central figure of the cleaner that I see.
Yes.
And there's another part of the book, if you don't mind talking about it real quick, but is where you learned about, well, you said get it done. You have to get it done. And so your dad, I think, worked on cadavers, is that right?
Yeah, so, he came over to the country, and they wouldn't accept his educational that he did, and his license in India, and what he had to, in order to get it done here, it was just too much time. It was too much time, he wouldn't be able to work. So at the Northwestern University, they gave him a job as a degreaser. Right? Well, what's a degreaser? So I don't know how medical school is taught now these days, but back then, you had cadavers, okay? And in order to preserve the cadaver, you filled it with formaldehyde so it could last the whole semester and quarter and so forth, all right? But after the quarter's over with, or semester's over with, guess what? You gotta dispose of them. When they're filled with formaldehyde, they weigh anywhere from 500 to 600 pounds. So you just can't, it's not like you get a garbage truck and just toss them in. So what you have to do is, there's an individual that has to take these bodies, they have to dismantle them, and throw them into a furnace, okay? That was my dad's job.
He went from where he was to doing that to provide for your family.
Exactly, to provide for the family. And that's exactly what he told me. He said, this is what you do. Sometimes you have to do to provide for your family.
Doesn't he bring you in there when you're a little guy?
So they can't afford, my parents couldn't afford babysitters. One worked night, one worked during the day. So when there was no school, all right, my mom's resting because she just worked the night shift. All right, so guess what? We go to work with our dad. All right, we go to work with our dad. My dad's in the things. He can't let the kids run around. My dad's in the thing. We're in the gear and everything. He hands a saw. He goes, "This is what I do."
Hands you a saw?
Yeah, it's a bone saw. This is what I do.
How old are you, roughly? Right?
I was 6.
Oh my God.
I try to tell people, I was the original Dexter.
6 years old, you got a bone saw in your hands.
Bone saw.
Oh my God. What was the lesson for you from that?
Well, it's just like, listen, you do whatever's necessary. Just because you have this kind of status somewhere else doesn't mean you're always going to have it. You're not always going to have it. And this is one thing that I find very interesting is when people become successful. With his own stuff together, it's just like handle his own tickets. Kobe did the same thing. So it's just like, hey, just because I'm now the superstar, all right, I still have to do the things that got me there because it reminds me of what I did and what it took to get to this level.
You build this background here, you go get your education, and how in the hell do you go from being a D2 basketball player?
I was actually a D1 basketball player.
Okay,
Yeah, mid-major, small school. But
so you were a really good player. Okay, so you were the real deal. Okay, good. You're a really good player. So you go through that, you get your education, you start in business. Does Attack Athletics now exist at that time?
No.
Okay.
I get my master's degree. I get a job at a health club. Minimum salary for everybody in here. My minimum salary when I started day one was $3.75.
Big bucks.
Big dollars. With a master's degree now. All right. But what I was fortunate enough to understand is that even though I had the education and it's up here, I haven't really learned and mastered my craft of how to apply it. So get a job in the health club. Start training people in the health club. Everybody from women, children, overweight, body, whatever they need. Learned, made mistakes, figured things out, got my craft, got really honed in on understanding how the body moves, how to get results here, how to do this. But then I was like, I'm only using 10% of what I learned. People come in when they work out. I want to lose weight. Right. Yeah, that's the first thing. I got too much around the midsection. I want to lose weight. My thighs are too big, whatever it is. So I was like, all right, here's a program. This is what you do. This is what goes on. Here it is. But I have so much knowledge. I was like, how can I do this? I want to apply it to athletes and so forth. So I kind of started a little training program, working with the kids and so forth, just making sure I knew what I was doing. And then I saw an article in the paper that my Michael Jordan was tired of taking the physical abuse from the Detroit Pistons, and he wanted to get stronger. Right? So I reached out. Yes. So I reached out to the team physician who was Dr. John Heffer at the time, and the athletic trainer who was on file. And I reached out to them and said, hey, this is my background, this is what I do. And fortunate enough, I was able to make contact with them. They brought me in, and this process lasted for almost 6 months. They drilled me on questions and made sure I wasn't somebody that was just BSing. They made sure I knew exactly what I was talking about. They said, you know what, you might be a good fit. So they made an arrangement for me to meet Michael. I met Michael at his house. We went through the whole discussion thing.
Still got time.
Michael said, I'll give you 30 days. 30 days turned into 15 years.
Oh my God. Wow. So you got this other career. But how many guys have the guts to even make the phone call to them? I mean, was this like a dream you had? I want to get with professional athletes?
I always told people when they said, when I got my degree, my bachelor's degree, back then, it was PE/kinesiology.
Okay.
So everyone, PE, you're going to be a gym teacher. No, I'm a trained professional athlete. Somebody else is going to be a gym teacher. No, I'm a trained professional athlete. So if you keep telling yourself something over and over again, you start to believe it. But once you start to believe it, you got to figure out the path to make it happen. And most people, they'll tell themselves something, but then when they got to go through that path is not straight. Okay, usually that path goes down first. Okay, but I have a saying. I said, the road to paradise starts in hell. It does. That's where it starts.
So many people aren't willing to do that.
No, they're not. You know what? Here's the thing. I deliver a different message.
You do.
I deal with the truth.
It's a true one.
And I deal with the truth, and I deal with reality. And you know what happens?
Are a teenage years that are thinking about their sport or college or the rest of their life, I so strongly believe the sooner in life someone begins to learn to think like this, the easier it is to develop those habits. And so at the end when we promote this, or even Tim's book and his program, really encourage you to get your children at the right age involved in this and learning to think like this earlier in life. Their lives will be so much better earlier if they learn to think this way as opposed to the way the world's teaching them to think right now. So I want to make sure that I've told you that in just a few minutes. We're going to tell you how you can get access to his program.
I keep saying it, but we're getting too soft. Everyone talks about, that nobody moves anymore. We're getting unhealthy. Listen, we have access to some of the healthiest foods, all the diets out there, all the knowledge. There's more gyms opening now than ever before, and why is the obesity rate going up? You have the knowledge. Hey, if I eat this, this is what's going to happen. If I eat this, this is not going to. But people want to make excuses. I got a slow metabolism rate. I'm big boned. No, you're eating too much. All right, stop making excuses. All right, there are people out there that do have those conditions.
Sure.
Okay, we overcomplicate things. Move more, eat less equals weight loss.
There you go. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure most people's bones are much bigger than other people's bones.
They're not. That's just
you know what I mean? I don't think people say that's completely nonsense.
Yeah.
Your bones are not bigger than my bones.
Yeah. But it's an excuse. They've heard that. They've heard that somewhere. Yeah, I can't lose the weight because of that. It's the same thing. When you're competing at something, it's not. Why was Michael and Kobe who they were? Tom Brady, Dwayne Wade, Wayne Gretzky, Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, all these guys. Not because of their physical gifts. Yes, it had a lot to do with it. It's up in here. It's up in here. And we can all, listen, we're not going to learn to fight like Floyd. We're not going to learn to play basketball like Michael. We're not going to be able to do these things. But you can all think that way in whatever you're doing. You can all take that action. You can be that cleaner in whatever you want to do. It starts and ends up here. All right, it's time to recharge this and reboot this.
Is there a difference? I'm just curious, he's working with both of them. Just a sports thing. You indulge me. What is the difference between Kobe and Jordan? Was there a difference in the two? There's tons of similarities. Is there a difference in the two?
I always say this. Kobe worked out harder. Michael worked out smarter. Yes. They both were extremely hard, but Michael was always smart. Kobe was, it was this constant push, and we had to kind of, even when you reeled them in, all right, you get a call at 3 a.m. in the morning. They say, what are you doing? It's 3 a.m. I'm sleeping. That's what you should be doing. Right. Let's go back to the gym.
Really?
All right. And I'm like, no, it's really not a good idea. Well, here's the thing. Even if I tell him it's not a good idea, I still got to go to the gym because he's going to show up at the gym.
Okay.
Yeah. He's going to show up at the gym.
Were they the two hardest workers?
Yes. Your most successful individuals. It doesn't happen by accident.
Right.
It doesn't. Listen, there's a lot of talented people that succeed at nothing, at absolutely nothing. Now, when you have that individual that's talented, you have that individual that knows how to work hard, and they have the intelligence. Okay, and this is key. This is key because this is what's missing now with individuals. All right, you have the talent, you have the intelligence. All right, you know how to compete. You don't have the resiliency. You don't have that. When failure comes kicking your ass, you crumble.
35.
Fudge.
Triceps.
Give someone unexpected results in their life, not just the things they expected. Along those lines about the work, I'm gonna start giving you stuff you said.
Don't worry about it.
I love this stuff. You said you don't even have to love the hard work. You gotta love the result. So I think it's a fallacy that everybody thinks that you guys just love the work. Some love the work, but you don't love it all the time, right?
You don't love. Listen, I can ask anybody in this room right now, anybody's filming this, anybody that's watching this. You honestly say you love 100% about everything that you do about your job.
No.
There's certain things that you absolutely love, and there's other things that you can deal without. But you've got to crave that end result so intensely that the work becomes irrelevant.
Let's talk about that. Stay on that. That was one of my questions. So I'm a leader. I'm a business, and I got my coolers and my closers, but I do want to develop some cleaners. From a business standpoint, is it just your example, or are there things as a business person you can do to develop cleaners in your business?
No, you have to always develop it. But see, it's funny. A person that wants to be a cleaner, they kind of show themselves.
I agree.
Okay, they kind of show. They're not the ones hiding. They're not the ones constantly celebrating. They're the ones that They're the ones that show up early. They're the ones that leave. They're the ones that leave late. But it's not just about. You get people that say, "Oh, listen, I gotta. You don't have to work. You don't have to work harder. You gotta work smarter." No, you gotta work harder and you gotta work smarter. You gotta do both of them. It's not a substitute. They're not substituting one. So when you find those individuals, they're the ones that come in. They're not easily distracted.
Calves and
Everyone
stuff.
has a dark side. Everybody has a dark side. We've all been through something. And it's how you handle that situation determines what kind of individual you're going to become. You have individuals that make excuses all the time. I came from a broken home. I didn't have this. I didn't have that. And you got other individuals that take that, hey, my mom raised me or my dad raised me, and they take that as motivation, as power to say, watch me. I'm going to show you. Okay, I'm not going to let that hold me back. It's not an excuse. That's your dark side. Let's cut all the bullshit. You're very successful at what you do. You're extremely successful at what you do. And we're grateful to be a part. We're grateful to be a part of this. Thank you very much. All right. But what happens is, the more successful you become, the less people care about your problems.
That's so true. That's so true.
Okay? They don't care because they look at your house, they look at the money, they look at the car, and they're like, oh, he's got it all. They don't understand that you have the same issues that everybody else has.
35 with weight, 35 without.
This is the cure-all for it all. It's not the cure-all for it. It's not. And it's fun. The more successful you become, the less people you can talk to things about because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. But it's funny. Once you start hanging around people that have your same ideas, same goals, are same as successful, watch how the conversation changes.
100% true. You got to talk about this for a second because I read the book and I went, I hang around cleaners, and not all of them are wealthy, but I have a buddy who's one of my best friends. He's actually a pretty financially successful guy too. Come to think of it, but he runs a transmission shop, right? He's not a professional NFL athlete. He's not a guy who built a $8 billion business, but he's
Not to do it again.
as a father.
Yo, hello ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good morning, good night to whoever's watching this. I'll do a video real quick. Shout out Julio César Chávez, el gran campeón mexicano. But we're gonna go over a little chart breakdown. This is not a Sunday markup, not a weekly. It's not a weekend breakdown yet, a Sunday breakdown yet. It's Saturday today, no 9 to 5. So I just got down. Oh, actually, you guys, I'm posting the workout and this on the same video so you guys know what I did. It was biceps, triceps, and a little bit of calves. Yesterday I didn't record anything at the boxing gym, and this whole week I did not record a dry talk, and neither did last week. So I'm adding this video for last week's video, and I'm doing the Sunday breakdown tomorrow. So expect the weekly chart breakdown. But this is the trade I'm going over. This is the last trade I took on freaking, again, the $80 challenge account. I almost blew this damn account with this trade. Actually, look how close it came to stop loss. And it was all actually my fault too, because Price gave me 35 pips before I went into the drawdown. And I'm so lucky. I mean, I wouldn't call it lucky, right? Well, actually, yes, lucky that I didn't hit stop loss, right? But I'm also what do you call it? I'm also kind of proud of myself that I didn't get out of the trade in drawdown, right? Because the past me, or anybody like me, obviously I did over risk a little bit for the account. I think I popped like a 0.09. This was a trade. I secured some and then let the rest run. You can see it's just literally running 0.01, I think. Yup. Slowly but little. And I said I'm not gonna buy a challenge account on FTMO or top tier or anywhere unless I deposit the money into let's say a trading account and then trade it into whatever I need to buy the challenge. For example, the 50K account is like almost like I think $300 and something. So if I could take this account to $300 and something, I'll withdraw that and then put it in the account and then restart this challenge, right? Because this would be the $100 to $1,000 in a year. Well, I could restart this account, but the main process would be taking money from here and throwing it into the FTM or the top tier challenge. But into this trade again, let's look at this. So the reason I got into this trade, actually I hadn't even gotten into these cells right here. I just did not hold. I got out so early, and then look at the full move that I missed out. That's why I'm holding on this one. I don't care if it's 0.01. If it comes all the way up here, that'd be a solid, what, 20 bucks for the account. And so let's look at the 15-minute real quick. The main reason why I got into this trade was, obviously we have all of these sellers right here that are still in the market. Even up to here, they have from this point upwards, there's still sellers in the market. You can see price, a big chunk that price has not cleared out over here on the right side. Price is still right here. So what does that mean? We have liquidity all up right here, right? And if I would have still been in my sales, obviously I would have still been in a trade. Therefore, price still had not came and take me out. So I do believe price is gonna still come and push to the upside. Maybe give us a possible re-entry for possible buys. Maybe give us something like this, right? previous supply turned to supply again, could give us new demand in the future, and this could be a nice little trade. This could be a little 90 pip trade right here after price breaks above and does, and we will still be holding this trade. The main thing is why I got into this trade over here was, come look at this, right? I'm just gonna draw it out. Shout out Holt, by the way, because he's the one that taught me this. It's he called it impulse within the range. I think you could take a screenshot or pause it if you want to read all of this. The main reason for this trade was this impulse within the range right here, right? And you could just call it a break of structure. You can call it whatever you want. What matters is that you see it, right? So and it literally happened over here too. Look, price had a strong supply, broke all of the structure to the downside, plus retraced back to the same supply that broke that structure, respected it, and then instantly had a 15-minute bearish engulfing candle and started melting. What did it do? It created a higher low. So this is where I started getting into my trade right here. My problem was not holding, but literally the same thing that happened here happened over here. Look, and obviously in confluence with all of this liquidity still being created. So if you just look at structure, don't even look at all of these choppy candles, just look at structure. Lower highs and lower lows, lower highs and lower lows until here. Price fails to continue to break lows, it breaks highs, but this is still not the impulse within the range because it did not break structure over here. It only broke one high. The big structure is this right here. Look how it broke 1, 2, and actually closed with the bullish engulfing candle. Price came, failed to break lows again, confirming now this is a strong low or the bottom of the range. Delete that shit. And price, what does it do? Instantly shoots up all the way over here. Obviously the first close was there, but it shoots all the way over here, breaking these highs, breaking this high, and barely testing this high, and slowly continues break up to the upside, tests the supply that I mentioned earlier, and slowly, well, actually this happened fast. I think it happened during New York session, pre-New York session, late London session. So the full setup happened at 6:30 New York session the day before, and then this was London session over here. London session sells into the previous New York session demand that created the 15-minute impulse within the range. Price tested the impulse within the range, and that's where I had gotten into my entry. The instant bullish engulfing candle, my stop loss was right below this low right here, and price flew for 30 pips. And here my mistake was not setting my stops. First of all, taking some profit and setting my stop loss at break even and letting the trade continue to run. Instead, I continued to hold, and literally price went into my stop loss. I literally let a winner turn into a loss. But good thing that price came back, tested the full wick right here, and it still had a reaction back to the upside. So it went from a win to a loss to back to a win, and when it went back to a win, I think I had closed first around 10 pips, and then I closed most of the position at 39 pips, and then I'm literally just holding that 0.01 because literally the account was literally almost blown right here. The account would have been left with like $15 or like $10 or something, but we're back at 50 just with this trade, and possibly even more, right? The trade could possibly continue to go up to the upside if it doesn't come and stop us out. But even if it comes and stops us out, as long as price continues to create higher lows, GG should start flying. Unless we break this low over here, we create a bearish engulfing candle, we create a higher low below it, and we melt back down. Besides that, price is looking for us to continue back to the upside, right? If we're not breaking lows, we're breaking highs. If we're not breaking highs, we're breaking lows. Trading is that simple. Peace and love. Back to work. Yo, quick little add-on. I just realized that I didn't mention this in the breakdown, that the first reason that I could have gotten out at 30 pips was because of this previous strong demand area, right? It respected it as supply, and you started seeing this on the 15-minute. You started seeing this like on the 5-minute and the 30-minute, or on the 3-minute already. You can see Price already started showing momentum here, so I could have got it now, still in profit, and gotten a re-entry. But whatever, right? Back to work. Peace and love to anybody watching this. I command you health, wealth. I just wanted to add that on, right? And the price and this strong supply, obviously now that broke above, now would have been a key strong buy. So as long as price could even stay even above this, it should be good, right? Strong demand, strong supply, strong supply, strong demand, strong demand, possibly key buy as soon as the market opens. So actually, I'm not even gonna chart up GG. I'm just gonna chart up GU, USD CAD, and UJ, because I'm gonna hold my same analysis because I'm still holding the same trade. So expect that tomorrow. Peace and love to anybody watching this.